Guys, the 2026 NFL odds have officially dropped. Not just for a few marquee matchups or week one, but for every single game on the schedule. And if you ask me, it's never too early to start looking for some value in NFL betting. We're still in May, obviously, but once the schedule drops, it really starts to feel real with football right around the corner. Football is just getting closer and closer with training camp starting in a couple months, and sportsbooks have already posted spreads, totals, and futures across the board. Today I'm going to dive into all of it. The early spreads, win totals, and strength of schedule rankings using our own projections here at Sports Betting Time. We calculate schedule difficulty based on projected win totals and each team's probability of winning every single game throughout the season. The key is getting ahead of the market before the public catches up. I'm Danny Destler with Sports Betting Time, and it feels great to finally talk some NFL football with all of you. So with that being said, let's jump right into it, into the 2026 NFL win totals and the best bets across the board. Give me the New York Football Giants. They're one of my favorite over bets this season, and I think this team is being really undervalued at their 7.5 win mark. I love this way because of two things. One being the schedule. The Giants play a handful of teams coming off international games the week before, and I believe that could benefit them greatly. Also, their strength of schedule is 19th this season, putting them in a prime position to win games. I'd not even mention the fact that they brought in John Harbaugh, a proven winner with Baltimore and a great leader of men, something the Giants haven't had really since Tom Coughlin. I look for second-year quarterback Jackson Dart to take a real step up in year two as well. This reminds me a lot of the Patriots when they brought in a veteran head coach like Mike Vrabel, and a second-year quarterback in Drake May. With the weapons around Dart now, I feel that if the defense can hold their own, this team will eclipse 8 wins this season. Another future bet that I absolutely love heading into the 2026 NFL season is the Cincinnati Bengals to win the AFC North at +2. At that price, I think there's real value in a Bengals team that still has one of the best quarterbacks in football in Joe Burrow. When Burrow is healthy, Cincinnati is a legit Super Bowl contender every single year, and people seem to forget just how dangerous this offense can be when everything is clicking. The chemistry between Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins remains elite. Defenses are forced to respect the deep ball, which opens up opportunities all over the field. Add in a healthy supporting cast, a good offensive line, and one of the better passing attacks in football, this team can score with anyone. What I really like about the Cincinnati Bengals this season is that they're coming into this year with less hype than usual. The public attention in the AFC North has shifted towards teams like the Baltimore Ravens and Pittsburgh Steelers, which is exactly why I think there's value here. The Ravens are always going to be tough with Lamar Jackson at the helm, but repeating as division titles in the AFC North is never easy because it's arguably the most physical and competitive division in football. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh still has questions at offense with the quarterback position. What type of quarterback will Rodgers be? And I believe Cincinnati, on the other hand, has a proven formula to win. Elite quarterback play and a coaching staff that has already shown it can win big games come January. The other thing is I trust Burrow in close divisional matchups. AFC North games are usually tight, low margin battles, and having the better quarterback is often the difference. Burrow has already proven he can go toe-to-toe with any team in the conference. Plus 200, you're getting a team with legitimate championship upside at a price that feels longer than it should be. If this offense can stay healthy, I think the Bengals have an excellent chance to take back the NFC North crown in 2026. A couple of other quick bets before we dive into week one matchups. Give me the Cowboys and the Texans to go under 9.5 wins, and the Chargers, who have a legit chance to win the division, over 9.5 wins. Now let's dive into some head-to-head matchups week one. There are 4 bets that I am looking at right now. One of my favorite early week one bets is the San Francisco 49ers plus 2.5 against the Los Angeles Rams in Australia. I know the Rams have had success in this matchup recently, going 4-2 in the last 3 seasons against them, but that's exactly why I think there's value on the Niners as underdogs here. Whenever I can get Kyle Shanahan catching points in a big game, especially in a weird international spot like this, I'm interested. The travel, time zone change, and neutral site environment makes this feel much closer to a coin flip than the spread suggests. I also trust Brock Purdy and the 49ers defense to keep this game close throughout the game. Week one games are usually tighter and lower scoring, and San Francisco's physical style of play travels well. At 2.5, I think the value is clearly on the 49ers, and I wouldn't be surprised if they win this game outright. Another week one bet that I really like is the Buffalo Bills money line at -112 against the Houston Texans on the road. This mostly comes down to trusting my guy Josh Allen in a big spot. I think we're getting a motivated and honestly pissed off version of Josh Allen after how last season ended, and historically he's been his best when people start doubting the Bills. Houston is a talented team with a great defense, but Buffalo still has more proven quarterback and overall experience in high-pressure games. Allen's ability to extend plays and create explosive moments is a kind of thing that can completely swing a close Week 1 matchup. I also think Buffalo comes into this season with something to prove. The Bills consistently have been one of the top teams in the AFC, but after some frustrating playoff exits, this team feels like a team that is going to come out aggressive right away. At basically a pick 'em price, I'm backing the better quarterback, to be honest, and the better team with more urgency. Give me the Buffalo Bills money line of week 1. Since 2013, the Texans have only been 4-4 at home during week 1s, a stat that I'm willing to back, and anytime Josh Allen is in the road picking game, I'm willing to back him as well, to be honest. Another week 1 underdog that I like is the Carolina Panthers money line at plus 114 against the Chicago Bears at home. I think Carolina is one of the sneaky improved teams heading into 2026, especially with Bryce Young having more experience and stability around him. You know, we started to see some flashes of Bryce Young's greatness last season when they snuck into the playoffs and almost beat the Rams. You know, and year 3 is usually where the quarterbacks really begin to take that jump. And meanwhile, the Bears are going into this season with a lot of hype, but week 1 road games can be tricky, you know, especially against a young team playing at home with confidence. And, you know, at plus money in a home opener, I think Carolina is a solid week 1 play here. Lastly, shout out Zach and his Tennessee Titans. I love them -3 at home against the New York Jets. Cam Ward, I believe, is going to take a big step here. And because year 1 is all about learning, speed, and survival. Year 2 is usually where you see command of the offense and, you know, better timing and more confidence pushing the ball down the field. I think this is a spot where he can really take a jump up from last season. And I also think that Tennessee's going to be a good team this year. You know, they got some explosive pieces. Rookie Carnell Tate adds vertical speed as Wanda Robinson in the slot. You know, a different gear it didn't consistently have before. Jets head coach Rob Saleh is now in Tennessee, you know, with something to prove as well against, you know, his old team. That being said, Zach, I'm taking your Titans -3 in a game where I think Tennessee is going to look more cleaner and ready at the gate. So there you have it. Those are some future bets and week 1 bets that I'm locked in on. Honestly, it feels so great to be talking football with all of you today. Obviously, you know, we're still months away from kickoff, but it already feels like it's creeping up so fast with the schedule out and lines starting to take shape. I appreciate you all watching, and, you know, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and comment as well as what futures you'll be liking this year. We're getting closer and closer to football season, and it'll be here before you know it.